विज्ञान सम्मेलन के इस समापन कार्यक्रम में आप सभी का मैं हृदय से स्वागत करता हूँ। हम सबके बीच में अपने देश के ऊर्जा मंत्री आदरणीय पीयूष जी गोयल, पद्म विभूषण डॉक्टर बलियेंद्र जी, डॉक्टर सतीश जी शेटिये जो अपने गोवा विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति है, समुद्र विज्ञान संस्थान के निदेशक डॉक्टर नकवी, विज्ञान भारती के राष्ट्रीय उपाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर प्रमोद जी वर्मा जो मध्य प्रदेश काउंसिल ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के महानिदेशक भी है, डॉक्टर हरिलाल जी मेनन जो इस पूरे आयोजन के जो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी थी उसके महासचिव इस नाते जिन्होंने काम किया, गोवा सरकार की ओर से डायरेक्टर साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी श्रीमान लिविंगस्टन जी मार्टिन्स जिन्होंने बहुत बड़ा सहयोग इस पूरे कार्यक्रम को संपन्न करने के लिए दिया है। ऐसे अपने इस समापन कार्यक्रम के प्रमुख अतिथि यहाँ पर मंच पर उपस्थित है, उनका और आप सभी का मैं यहाँ पर बहुत बड़ा स्वागत करता हूँ। ये विज्ञान भारती का भारतीय विज्ञान सम्मेलन एक प्रमुख कार्यक्रम है। 2 साल में एक बार इस प्रकार का यह कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया जाता है। इसके पूर्व भोपाल, इंदौर और जालंधर में इस प्रकार के कार्यक्रम आयोजित किए गए हैं और ये चौथा भारतीय विज्ञान सम्मेलन यहाँ पर गोमंतक भूमि में आयोजित किया गया है। मुझे आनंद ये हो रहा है कि इस कार्यक्रम में आप जो सहभागी हुए हैं वो एक प्रकार से विज्ञान भारती के परिवार के आप सदस्य बन गए हैं। इसलिए विज्ञान भारती के इस बृहद परिवार में आप सभी का मैं पुनः एक बार हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. We now wish to welcome our esteemed guests with flowers. I request Dr. Menon and Professor Dorsey to offer floral bouquets to our guests. Thank you, sir. The main theme of this conference is innovation. So we thought of being a little innovative, to break away from tradition, to be a little bit unconventional. Usually, every function ends with a vote of thanks. But as we come to the end of this Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan, we realize how important each member of our team is. We were like one big family, working hand in hand to make this Sammelan a grand success. Acknowledging the support of our well-wishers and the efforts of our team is of utmost importance. So, today's function, we are beginning with the vote of thanks, or rather, the acknowledgement, as we would like to call it. I request Professor Suhas Godse, the President of Vigyan Parishad Goa, to do the needful. Please, sir.
Namaskar. I'm in front of you after another 2 days in between now, and this is something normally which is expressed towards the end, but we thought that this is very important. I have to say something about it, and here I am with you. It is not Thanksgiving, because normally in Western culture, once you say thanks, the account is closed. But this event is to tell you all that we prefer to remain obliged, we prefer to remain in your debt for all the contribution that you have done. First and foremost, I must say that we are obliged to Piyush ji, that he has travelled so much today, showed so much of enthusiasm to come an extra mile. So we will always remember your gesture, sir. We feel highly obliged, while we feel also equally mesmerized and inspired by Dr. Vaidyanathan. Look at his energy, and today he really captivated the whole audience, and we are hearing from everybody for last 3 hours. Why not have one more session from Dr. Vaidyanathan? All of you have one more opportunity to hear him, maybe for a short time, but he will speak. And I thank him very much. Rather, I feel obliged. This whole concept of Vigyan Parishad, Bharatiya Vigyan Parishad, we feel very much obliged, indebted to our governor, who made it a point to inaugurate it in spite of the hot sun, and she was all the way walking around, and though we were told by the official staff that don't make her walk more, but we had to tell her don't walk more, because she was very enthusiastic, went all over, and even said that she would like to spend some more time. So we feel obliged by her. Our defense minister, who is very dear to Goa, who was then the chief minister of Goa, and in his tenure at that time, the idea of Vigyan Parishad organizing such a event in Goa came up, and Vigyan Bharati, of which this is the Goa unit, and the minister was all out in support of it. And not only that, even after he went to Delhi, he kept on inquiring on weekly basis, often twice a week, like in his typical way, he would just ask how is the development, what's happening. And we feel very much obliged by his concern for us and his support that he has done all the way. Our Chief Minister, Lakshmikant Parsekar, has been also equally supportive, and he involved himself all out in this particular program. We also feel obliged to the Science and Technology Minister Harshvardhan, when he anticipated he won't be able to come here in Goa for inauguration, but he did not want to say that, and he came 1 month before, and he met all the people and shared his thoughts, initiated everybody, and said all the cooperation would be there. But at that time he hinted, if the election would be there, I won't be with you. But still, I'm here with you today. So such a gesture, we feel highly inspired and obliged. Now, our Minister for Sports, Goa, Ramesh Ji Tavadkar, he has been very supportive to us, and this ground on which we have our exhibition, that's all his contribution to us, and he gave us a full freedom, a full helping hand in doing that. Chief Secretary of Goa, Keval Kumar Sharma Ji, who was here amongst us on the day of inauguration, was really an administrative support, and the circular that he drew to support us is such a complete document that we appreciate how thoughtful he is, and certainly we will remain on that. In fact, the staff from Secretariat, especially I must mention Mrs. Varsha Naik and Sri Bhushan Savaikar, both of them have been helping us at every step throughout. And of course, there are so many more who contributed from Secretariat itself. Besides, Director of Science and Technology, our own Vincent Martins, is here with us, and his contribution. He has been so enthusiastic, and at the end of these 3 days, he already is planning what we should do next year and what we should do the year after. And so we are really thankful to you that you are getting involved so much in this, and please keep it up. And then I have to thank also the Director of Remote Sensing, Mr. Dominic Fernandez, who supported us on every step while we were going through the administrative jargon. And then, of course, I have to thank the director of DIT, our Dr. Vivek Kamath, then Director of Education, Gajanan Bhatt, Director of Higher Education, Bhaskar Naik, and Director of SCRT, Mr. Nagaraj Kondekar, Director of Art and Culture, who is also in charge of this Kalacademy, Mr. Prasad Lolekar. All these people, we are not just saying yes, but they said, come on. They were telling, we can do it in this way, and they helped us to go through the whole. And Kalacademy, our Vice Chairman, Raja Khedekar, and all the staff, in fact, I have to take at least 20 names here, I don't want to. Everybody from Kalacademy cooperated so wonderfully that this is what we are experiencing. We had excellent support from the Director General of Police and also entire police force. All the officials were in Bhumsar, we went for support, and they were very helpful to us. Similarly was the case with Director of Fire and Emergency Services and then PWD, because we had to take less clearances and other help. Chairman of Pollution Control Board, Dr. Jose Noruna, was so much helpful to us all throughout, right from planning stage he has been with us, though it was not directly concerned, but feeling for the science and innovation, he was with us all throughout. And then we also had the support from the CCP, especially Deputy Mayor of CCP, Mr. Kabir Makhija, has been helping us, supporting us, guiding us from time to time. Help we have already received from the Forest Department when we conducted certain pre-conference activities to initiate the students, and also thereafter, while we have been we put up the biodiversity pandal, it is a lot of contribution from their end as well. Not to mention, not to forget, we had also support from the Coastal Zone Regulation Authority. They guided us properly as and when we required it. Now coming to other bodies, first thing that should come, though Goa University is part of this, but still I feel the Vice Chancellor of Goa University, who is so close to us, and he has been with us from the day the whole thing got started getting crystallized. And all the staff of Goa University has been very, very helpful. You can see them running around and participating in every small thing that's going around. Well, Director of NIO and the community of scientists from NIO has been so wonderful with us and so understanding that they have really, and then our very director is on the stage with us and he's going to share his words of wisdom with us. Goa State Innovation Council. This was a body which came forward along with Persistent Systems of Pune, that they came out with an activity which was a pre-conference activity. And now today, the innovation prizes will be announced, and these prizes are being sponsored by the State Innovation Council, and they're sure that from next year onwards, on behalf of this council, Vigyan Bharati will start some activity, and it will be a wonderful thing next year. Ministry of Defence and especially DRDO, everyone is talking about it. In fact, there are already requests from so many people telling that extend the exhibition for another 3 days because we have not seen it. We want to see it again. Well, they have really a wonderful display of our country's might. It gives them a glimpse, and though we cannot attend the Republic Day parade, here we could parade in front of all those exhibits they have got here, and they are all so patient and so concerned. They explain things so nicely, so it has become a star attraction of our expo here. Similarly, we have a wonderful contribution from Madhya Pradesh Council of Science and Technology. The Director General is sitting amongst us right here, Pramod Ji Verma, and with his support, a wonderful set of stalls have come up, and artisans are displaying their skills there, and it's so nice. Then it was also STP, a star performer. This is something in the industry, and they were very enthusiastic and participated. Hindustan Aeronautics, their stalls are there, ISRO is there, and Indian Railways, all of them there. And then I can't take all the names, but I must say there are so many innovators from so many parts or rather entire country that's from all the extremes of our country. People have come here together and displayed their, what they have acquired, their innovations, what they have developed. Now, biodiversity pandal rather, or biodiversity pavilion that we have set up here, it has been with extensive help from Mrs. V.M. Sargawkar Brothers Private Limited, especially from Mr. Shivanand Sargawkar. We had a very good support, and then from his team, Mrs. Asawari Kulkarni is here, who guided that whole thing, and in addition we have Rama Vazrekar and then Deepak Gaokar, and then all those people, Rama Vazrekar and Deepak Gaokar, people from Goa know that they are the competitors of Maternal competition in Goa every time during Chaturthi, and they have more than 300, 400, 500 varieties of plants with medicinal use being displayed at the time of Chaturthi. I have to mention that so many industries came to, or corporate houses came to help us, and amongst them were of course STPI, then TJSB Bank, then NABARD, also Cadila Healthcare, Teva, Cipla, Jindal Group, ZSCL, Adani Group, Colorcon, and many others. The list is very long. Now, while the expo has been organized, we needed the volunteer force, and the principals of colleges have been very helpful, and even they have participated in pre-conference activities, and thus I have to thank now here, I have to mention Principal of Goa Engineering College, Dr. Sheikh, so helpful, and Principal of Goa College of Pharmacy, Professor Gopal Krishna Rao. They have been very much useful. Similarly, I have to say about Principal of Delhi College, Principal of Parvati Chaudhary College, Principal of Vidya Prabodhini College, and then there are so many others who have contributed. Similarly, Director of NIIT has been coming here attending so regularly. He has really helped us to organize this better. Then Principals of Polytechnic College as well as the higher secondary schools, Dempe, People's, Pushkin Fund, Vidya Prabodhini, Saraswat, and principals of all the schools of Goa have helped us in bringing it. Now finally, I have to say something about Vigyan Bharati. This was said on the first day that Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan is a flagship program. In fact, it is a benchmarking. Well, for this, Pramodji Verma, Jaykumarji, very early, more than a year back, started our thought process. They gave us the initial outline. Our president, Dr. Vijay Bhatkarji, himself travelled twice to Goa and helped us in organizing the things. And then there was Jayendra Rao Sahasrabudhe, who was all the while here either physically or digitally. Means every day, twice a call would come from him or a mail would come from him asking for the developments and guiding what to do next. So it has been a wonderful thing. And then Zai Vadke, who has been with us as a worker, is really great, and she has helped us out throughout. She has been with us. Locally, we have a very big team of mentors, our supporters. Is Principal Ratnakar Lele, who has been our first any emergency, and it is our 101. We call him and ask what to do now, and he is always there, whatever will be the time of the day. And then Principal Subhash Welinkar, he has been with us. Of course, Rajubhai Sikirkar, he is with us, and Salil has been continuously monitoring and helping us from time to time. And then the whole team here in Panjim was with us all throughout. Well, formally I have to say finally that the infrastructure was provided, though it is at a cost, but that was not merely monetary factor, but people said that we want to do it, we know your cause, and therefore we are not doing it commercially, but we want to, this is our contribution, and thus the hangar and all the setup at that point, and then the generators, and then the canteen contractor himself, who has been always working with us, all of these people have helped. Now I don't want to say anything further about the team of Vigyan Parishad, which have been working so long. In fact, I know at this point that so many more names I have not taken. I do apologize for that. I tell all those people, and then I have to say that all of you people who came from the corners of country, all across the country, and we in Goa, Vidyan Parishad, Vidyan Bharati, we are obliged to you, will remain obliged to you for your wonderful participation. And then, thank you so much. The main point of this time.
Honorable Minister for Energy, Government of India, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Padma Vibhushan, most respected Dr. M.S. Valyathan, Director, National Institute of Oceanography, Dr. Naqvi, the Chairman, Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan 2015, Dr. Shetty, Secretary to Department of Science and Technology, Goa, Mr. Levinson Martins, all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, my dear students, children, and ladies and gentlemen. In fact, the 4th edition of Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan is at the penultimate stage of its conclusion. We have initiated this with the main theme of innovation in science and technology in the service of mankind. This was initiated by most respected Dr. Anil Kakodkar, followed by the introduction by Dr. Vijay Bhatkar about Vigyan Bharati. In fact, we have conceived this as a pupil science contest wherein anyone who is having an idea would come forward and then deliberate and discuss. But then our target was basically students. So this has made us to have both Expo and Sammelan in the same platform, so that students would be able to, young minds or the future generation would be able to experience or see the development in the science and technology in country has. At the same time, what is going on in different laboratories. Of course, different laboratories, when I say that it's not a typical scientific conference that we had. So therefore, there was one hall exclusively for discussing ancient science and also discussing, in fact, today morning we had the discussion of different farmers, basically traditional and traditional know-how. So in response to our announcement, we have received, we have got around 1,200 delegates and 414 papers have been received. After reviewing 414, we find that 185 could be used for, could be good for oral presentation and 222 for poster. Out of this 185, we could see that around 100 had turned up. And this has been arranged in different halls, like in 6 halls, like Bharadwaj Hall, Raman Hall, Ramanujam Hall, and then Kannada Hall and all. While out of 222, we could have around 120 poster presentations. In fact, many of the presentations were really thought-provoking. And since our idea is to generate or to make the students to ask certain questions like the way Dr. Shetty mentioned during the inaugural session. Like if you ask questions, try to get the answer for that. For that, anyone will search, again and again search, that is your research. So therefore, create an awareness about the research in the young mind. So with that in mind, we have scheduled our the program in such a way that first we have taken the students to real problems of the village. For that, we have scheduled a talk by Director of MGIRI, that is Dr. Rabulla Khalid. Followed by that, once the problem has been identified, in this internet yuga, how that would be handled. So for that, we have scheduled the talk by STPI. We have had the expert. In fact, the session was chaired by the DG himself. And from there, Dr. Rajan and Dr. Sharma had taken us to different places, like remote places, I would say. Dr. Rajan had taken to both the poles, Antarctic and Arctic research activities, while Dr. Sharma had taken us to ISRO, space. And there were many questions to him that what is the implications of the ISRO research? How significant it is in the common man's day-to-day life as far as the ISRO research is concerned, wherein many young students were asking that. From there, we were brought back to our continent by our Dr. Nigam and then Dr. A.K. Gupta, discussing on the monsoon, because monsoon is one of the important aspects as far as the economy of the country is concerned. So that, and then Dr. Nigam had discussed about the FRAM and then the migration of the fish, etc. From there, today morning we had another excellent talk by Dr. Naqvi, wherein his concern was on the hypoxia in the coastal waters, or the decrease in the oxygen due to human-induced decrease in the oxygen in the coastal waters. So this is what he has discussed. And after that, we have had the real talk, that is, how can we have a Swachh Bharat? That is what our Dr. Valiathan had discussed, wherein he had, brought both Ayurveda and the most modern medicine, and then he had discussed that how in the ancient time things were happening, how people were, especially he was always discussing about the equilibrium that needs to be maintained. So in this regard, I would say that normally there is a saying that first impression is the best impression, but I realize here is that the last impression is the best impression, because his talk was so mesmerizing that I find that all that who are going out of this hall are only discussing about that. So this is in short about that, and I will fail my responsibility if I don't mention some of the names, especially my group, who had really worked in different, the halls. Like when the Sammelan was about to start, I had a doubt that who would be the in charge for different halls. Then finally, Professor Godse told me that we will have a solution. I will call the teachers who are teaching in higher secondary level. So I would say that I have got a very excellent team, and they have judiciously and they have really worked very hard. I would say that some of them have even really worked as, though they were not in transport committee, even arranged transport for the speaker to go. One of the expert could not walk from the hall, so that also she has done. Let me try to mention those names. These are Sachi Kucharkar, Rajeshri Gude and Purnima, who were handling this hall, and Sucheta, who was handling Aryabhatta hall, Sulba and Uma in Ramanujam hall, Surekha Kelkar, Parashara hall, and Siddharthi Netravalkar, Bharadwaj hall, Supriya and Miss Gil Raman hall. So with this short word, I would conclude my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Satish Shetye, Chairman, Organizing Committee of the 4th Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan and Vice Chancellor, Goa University, to kindly address the guest. Please, sir.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen. BVS 2015, as was noted during the inaugural session, is a celebration of science, the method of science, and the process of science. The products of this process have been on exhibit. You could see models of Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan, hardware built by DRDO labs, products from small and large organizations, both in public and private sector, were also on display there. Also presented here were research papers that came from scientists from either the traditional venues or the non-traditional venues. The secretary of the organizing committee, Dr. Megan, has just now summarized the numbers that have been associated with BVS 2015, and on the whole, these numbers support the idea that the overall idea behind holding of this celebration in the form of DBS 2015 has been reasonably successful. But I must also note here that this has been a learning experience. Those of you who attended Professor Vaidyanathan's sweep of science tradition of India using Ayurveda as an example brought out two important shortcomings of our traditions. Number one, our reluctance or perhaps inability to record the process of science that we have been associated with in the past. At the same time, the reluctance to give experimental and theoretical science the same status, what he called the head and hands, the same status in our culture. I think these shortcomings must be mulled over. These shortcomings must be thought about as we celebrate the science as done at this expo as well as the Sammelan. I consider it that it has been my privilege to serve as the chairman of the organizing committee, though my role, I must confess, has been largely ceremonial. And therefore, I would like to record here my personal appreciation for the support that I received from Jayantrao Sahasrabudhe, Professor Suhas Godse, and Dr. Bilal Menon. We at Goa University are grateful to Vigyan Bharati for giving us the opportunity to serve as partners in this celebration of science and technology, perhaps the largest such exercise ever carried out in the state of Goa. Thank you very much.
Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Minister of Energy, Professor Vaidyanathan, Dr. Shetty, Dr. Pramod Verma, Jain ji, Shri Martins, Bilal Menon, Mr. Godse, officials of the Vigyan Bharati, delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me congratulate the organizers for a very successful organization of this event. On behalf of all the participants, when I do that, let me tell you, I was there at the Science Congress. I was on the organizing committee this year at Mumbai. And this one is definitely a lot more enjoyable and more constructive in the Science Congress. I'm also very proud that, and thank you for giving us a chance to be associated with this event. A number of my colleagues work for it, and I would like to thank them for their participation in this event. I'm wearing another hat, sir. I happen to be the chairman of the Goa State Innovation Council, and we were asked to get involved in this, in organizing the competition for innovation for involving the students from Goa. And I would like to thank particularly Abhay and Jayanji for asking us to get involved in this. And this was really a very nice experience for the Goa State Innovation Council. And in fact, let me tell you that this was the first time that we really got involved in anything really constructive. So I would like to thank you for this. I would like to thank you all for participating in this event and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief guest for today's function, Honorable Union Minister Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Vaidyanathan, Dr. Shetty, Shri Jayantrao Sahasrabudhe ji, Dr. Menon, Dr. Naqvi, Dr. Pramod Verma, members of Vigyan Bharati, Goa Vigyan Parishad, students, scientific community, teachers, and my dear friends. At the outset, let me thank Bharatiya Vigyan Bharati for for having held this Sammelan in the state of Goa and for having given an opportunity for the student community, for the scientific community at large to interact and to see the might of Indian science and technology and of innovations. Government of Goa has partnered with this Sammelan, so also with Goa University and NIO. I'm sure over the past 4 days has been a very enriching experience, especially for the student community who had the occasion to be part of various sessions besides the expo and to see the India's might. Dear friends, the future for science and technology is for this nation. It will be India which is going to be a future of science and technology. In this aspect, to have our students, to inspire them was very, very important. Government of Goa in its own way has been supporting various initiatives. I was telling that various things have come out during this Sammelan. Government of Goa would be too happy to support some of the projects we have been supporting all along. Besides, in various exhibitions for various schools, scientific projects, and various programs on popularization of science. I'm sure all of us together can march hand in hand towards the prosperity of this nation and to take India to its supremacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guest, Union Minister for Energy, Shri Piyush Goyal, Honorable Dr. Valyathan ji, Chairman of this organizing committee, Professor Sethi, Secretary General Professor Menon, Director NIO Dr. Makri ji, Director Chemical Education Martin ji, and the force behind it, Sri Jain Raj, all invited guests, delegates, exhibitors, civil public, students, and friends from media. As you have seen that this is the 4th Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan. So 3 successful events already happened. And this 4th one, as the people have just narrated, is even more successful than the other 3rd one. Science has many dimensions. Science is everywhere. Science is not a subject. Science is a lifestyle. And Vigyan Bharati believes in it. The science, knowledge, tradition, practices, innovation, advancement, concepts, all these things, if not reaches to the common public and not being used for what we call Make in India, to elevate the civilian life, to generate the livelihood, then science is not successful. Mahatma Gandhi ji also told, science is success only when it reaches to the last man shaping the world. Vigyan Bharati goes with this attitude, this objectives and behavior. People say, seeing is believing. So that's why exhibition is an integral part of this Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan. What is happening all around advancement, that people must see how the India is becoming stronger. You have seen the DRDO pavilion, energy pavilions, many pavilions, state conscious pavilions. Then you have seen the young innovators making robots, making different kinds of innovative products. Then you have seen the artisans, carriers, how they are carrying forward their knowledge and traditions from generation to generation. Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan is the only platform in this world, I can repeat it, only platform where a highly qualified scientist is given an opportunity to interact with a karigar or artisans who really needs the advancement of science to generate his livelihood and increase its economic status. This is how Vigyan Bharati is moving. I very much thankful to University of Goa, NIO, Government of Goa, and Public of Goa on behalf of Vigyan Bharati to making this program a successful program. I do believe that this message will go to the rest of the country also. And when next time where we will have this Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan, Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan, then again we will assemble, and we will, by that time we will see that more and more people are coming, more and more states are coming. Now also 24 states have participated. It's encouraging. 24 states represented in this conference at Goa. And moreover, this is not only a conference of paper, there is a research paper, there is a poster, there is exhibitors, there are children programs, there are visiting programs, so many things combined together. This is a bouquet of science. This is like a science festival. This is like a science festival. And we want to make this Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan like a science festival. This is not an event, this is not a seminar, this is not a conference, this is a festival. Each and every person of India should participate in it. It should feel like that this is my program. I am a part of it. So thank you very much once again, and I really thank all of you to be a part of this program and encouraging Vigyan Bharati to get its objective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We now have the award ceremony. We will begin with the
Honorable Minister Shri Piyush Goyal ji, my esteemed colleagues on the dais, distinguished guests, and my young friends, I have been greatly privileged and highly pleased to take part in this Vigyan Bharati Sammelan, the last part of it today. I have enjoyed it immensely, and also the display of innovations and the awards given to them. I have had the privilege of attending similar meetings elsewhere in India, and it is always an inspiring experience to see young people coming up with new ideas, innovations, including the very latest like 3D printing, for example. This is really a celebration of knowledge, celebration of ideas, and then we have plenty of them all over India. Science Congress, Shastra, Children's Science Congress, in all parts of India. But you will also know the lament in India that there is not a single Indian university which comes within the top 200 world university ranking. Either the Shanghai ranking or London Times. We have failed to do this, and there is a great deal of soul searching why it is so. The previous Minister of Finance announced a 100 crore grant to the Indian Institute of Science, expecting that it would get into this select group within a matter of 3 years. But it didn't happen. Why is it doesn't happen? And there is so much of originality, innovation we have seen here, a splendid display, and many other parts of India. But still we don't do this. And the reason is I have, at least to my mind, it is not the investment that we make in these institutions, the number of staff, the number of courses, all that. They are important. But what is lacking in our higher education is creating an atmosphere where these ideas can grow. I want to give a specific example. A few years ago, our Indian National Science Academy in Delhi, which is our most prestigious science academy, we gave an honorary fellowship to an Egyptian scientist, Ahmed Suwaid. Some of you have heard about him. In the 1990s, he got the Nobel Prize. His acceptance speech in Delhi, he told us something about his own experience, which should ring a bell within all of us. When he got his PhD in Cairo, in chemistry, he went to his professor and told him that he wanted to have a postdoctoral fellowship to continue working in Cairo University. And the professor asked him, what do you want to do? He said, a chemical reaction. Take, for example, silver nitrate and sodium chloride. There is a white ring which will form within seconds. He said, when that ring forms within 2 or 3 seconds, that reaction starts at the molecular level, and then it slowly grows into this ring that you find. Can I really trace sequentially the changes taking place at the molecular level? That's what I want to study. And the professor's response was, well, if there is anything in it, somebody else would have done it already. And Professor Zivil told us, I'm pretty sure this will be the reaction you will get in India. And I think he's right. So 2 or 3 years later, he kept on applying abroad. He got a fellowship in Caltech. When he went there, the professor asked him, what do you want to work on? So he repeated this, perhaps in a more refined language, because he had been thinking about it. And that professor's reaction was, well, it's an interesting idea. Why don't you do it here as a lab? And the lab had very little, by the way, a bare place. Suddenly it dawned on him, it was for him to come up with this. The opportunity is given in a great institution. And subsequently, that is the most critical. In the next few months, this professor never called him to ask him what you are doing, a report on his work. He never asked. In the next few months, Dr. Zivil, he was going around talking to all sorts of people, mathematicians, physicists, laser instrumentation, biologists, everybody, talking about different aspects of this, even related sciences, attending seminars, discussions during tea time, during lunchtime. This went on, listening to various other seminars, other disciplines. Now that atmosphere, in something like 3 to 4 months, or 6 months maybe, he realized that these 2 or 3 seconds, it could be split into 50,000 bits. And there would be instruments made to measure what was happening during all these. It was feasible. Instruments had to be built. They are not available commercially. But when he had a rough idea, like crystallized, he went back to his professor and said, it looks like it is feasible. This is the sort of thing I want to do. I have this equipment here. Some I can use in somebody else's lab. Some I have to buy. So the professor said, go ahead. He looked at all that carefully. Anyway, the work started like this. Of course, he had to make changes as he went along, learn, make course corrections. But in 6 or 7 years, he got Nobel Prize for the discovery of femtochemistry. Now, this is typical of spotting an idea and nurturing it. My own personal example, I know my teacher. I worked under a very great name, Dr. Gibbon, in Philadelphia, 1961. All of you know open heart surgery. In the 1950s, when I was a medical student, if somebody came with a blue baby, there was nothing we could do. The child would die before 5 years. We knew that. Parents knew that. Somebody came with coronary artery disease. There was no treatment. We could only treat angina with a pill. No treatment. That was the situation. Valve disease, nothing we could do. But today, the whole thing is revolutionized. We know that. This came because of Dr. Gibbon. Dr. Gibbon, I worked under him when he was a medical student in Boston, Peter and Brigham. He was a final year student, a patient dropped dead in the ward. They did the autopsy, he was watching, and this man had a big blood clot from the leg vein going and blocking the artery, coronary artery going through the both lungs. That's how he died. But it struck him. All the other organs were now. He thought if I had 10 minutes, I could stop his heart and lungs, I could take out this clot, this man would be alive. So he went to his professor, Edward Churchill. This is 1930. Edward Churchill is a great name, great surgeon, wonderful writer. So he went to Dr. Churchill. I saw his autopsy, I'm so upset. If only we could do this, 10 minutes I could stop. I could have taken this out. Is there some way we can do it? So Churchill's reaction was almost exactly like the Caltech professor. He said, John, that's an interesting idea. Why don't you try it? But it took Dr. Gibbon, starting this, after all, you have to replace the heart and lungs. You have to find substitutes to take over the circulation. Then only you can stop. Now, developing this, a pump, an oxygenator, a gas exchange device, you need engineers. So he started tying up with IBM engineers. It's a long story, it took 15 years. He got so frustrated in between, he would come back to practice in Philadelphia and go back again. Couldn't rest. But 15 years later, he did the first open heart operation, the hospital where I worked. Now here again, that ability, all these ideas which you heard today, many of them could be precious. They are actually ideas of the children of God. They come from somewhere. We don't know from the depth of our mind how they come. To some people, many people don't have it. Now these are very precious. So all of them are not equal. Some of them are the germs of great things, great discoveries, transformation. Now that's what happened in the case of Gibbon, the case of Ahmed Zewail, and some of those you heard today, they would be like that. But nurturing, that is where we are failing. In our institutions, higher education especially, there is no mechanism. If you give 1,000 crores to 2 universities and say you come within the top 200, it will not happen. Because this atmosphere, it has to come from our human beings, all of us, devoted to knowledge, obsessed with knowledge, obsessed with innovation, that ideas, that is how this will happen. I hope these congresses, these sammelans, will somehow promote that atmosphere in India. In that case, this will certainly be a heaven